In 1986, an aspiring business owner in Oregon signed a 10-year lease on a retail space, ordered 30 commercial washers, and then received a single municipal utility bill for $84,000 just for the right to connect his pipes to the sewer. He had already spent his life savings on the machinery, leaving him with no cash to pay the fee and forcing him to abandon the project before a single load of laundry was ever washed. This hidden entry barrier is the dark side of a business model that many believe is the ultimate shortcut to passive wealth. The secret to surviving this industry lies in a hidden physical mechanism inside the dryers that allows owners to quietly recoup their water losses without raising the price of a wash cycle. It's easy to see why people fall in love with the dream of the self-service laundry. You buy a row of metal boxes, rent a storefront, and watch the cash roll in while you sit on a beach. There are no employees to manage, no inventory to spoil, and no complex services to perform. The machines do all the work. They clean the clothes, they dry the fabrics, and they collect the money. In theory, the equipment pays for itself in 3 years. After that, it's pure profit. But the reality of this business is written in utility bills and plumbing copper. The average laundromat uses between 300,000 and 500,000 gallons of water every single month. That is enough to fill a standard Olympic swimming pool every 4 weeks. Because you are dumping millions of gallons of soapy water into the city sewer, local governments treat you like an industrial factory. This is where the municipal trap snaps shut. Cities charge what they call system development charges or sewer impact fees. These fees fund the municipal treatment plants that must process the massive volume of soapy discharge your store produces. In some counties, you must pay $2,000 for every single washing machine hookup. For a standard 40-machine store, that's $80,000 before you buy a single pipe or hire a plumber. In high-density urban areas, these impact fees can easily exceed $150,000. If you sign a lease without checking these local utility schedules, your business is dead before you open. Even if you find a space with existing plumbing, you aren't safe. If the space was previously a bakery or a shoe store, the city will reassess the water usage. They will hit you with a change of use fee that matches the new demand. One operator in Washington state reported a $95,000 charge just to upgrade a 1-inch water meter to a 2-inch meter. Without that larger meter, the machines can't fill fast enough and customers end up waiting in lines. Slow machines kill your volume, and volume is the only thing that keeps you alive. Let's talk about the physical machines themselves. Commercial-grade washing machines operate on a scale that dwarfs any residential basement appliance. These are heavy industrial tools built from solid stainless steel and designed to run 24 hours a day. A small 20-pound capacity washer costs around $4,000. Most customers visit a laundromat specifically to wash oversized loads that home appliances cannot handle. That requires the big machines. A 60-pound capacity front loader costs between $12,000 and $18,000. An 80-pound giant can cost over $22,000. Dryers are slightly cheaper, but you need more of them. A double-stacked 30-pound dryer pocket costs about $6,500. To build a competitive store, you need a mix of sizes. You'll want at least 15 small washers, 10 medium ones, and 5 giants. Add in 15 double-stacked dryers. Just for the machinery, your invoice will easily top $280,000. Shipping, installation, and pouring a new 8-inch reinforced concrete slab to support these 1,000-pound vibrating machines will cost another $30,000. This brings the total equipment and build-out costs for a standard storefront to between $400,000 and $800,000. Very few people have this much cash sitting in a bank account. They have to borrow it. Financing a laundromat is a unique challenge because banks view them as high-risk ventures. If the business fails, the bank is left with specialized equipment that is incredibly expensive to uninstall and resell. To secure a loan, you will likely need a small business administration guaranteed loan. This typically requires a 20% down payment. On a $500,000 project, that means you must bring $100,000 of your own cash to the table. The remaining $400,000 will be financed over 10 years. In the current economy, interest rates for these loans hover around 10%. That leaves you with a monthly debt payment of roughly $5,300. You must pay this amount every single month, regardless of how many people walk through your door. While equipment manufacturers offer direct financing with easier approvals, they often charge rates up to 12% and secure the debt against your personal home. But let's assume you get the financing and build the store. Now the real overhead begins. Your monthly bills are divided into fixed overhead and variable utility costs. First is the rent. A good laundromat needs to be in a highly visible location with plenty of parking. If customers have to carry heavy laundry bags across a busy street, they will go somewhere else. A 2,500 square foot retail space in a suburban strip mall will cost about $5,000 a month in rent. Many retail leases are structured as triple net. This means you pay the base rent plus your share of the building's property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. That can add another $1,500 to your monthly housing cost. Because you have high pressure water and heavy machinery running constantly, general liability and property insurance will cost about $400 a month. You also need commercial security systems and remote monitoring. Since the store is unattended, you need high-definition cameras covering every angle to deter vandalism. This adds another $150 a month in subscription fees. Now we must look at the utilities, which are the true engine of your operational costs. Utilities will eat up between 20 and 25% of your gross revenue. On a store bringing in $20,000 a month, your water, gas, and electric bills will be about $4,500. Water is the obvious expense. Commercial rates vary widely, but a typical municipal charge is $10 per 1,000 gallons for water and sewer combined. If your store uses 400,000 gallons a month, your water bill alone is $4,000. Dryers must run on natural gas since electric options are too slow to keep up with commercial volume. To dry a single load of towels, a commercial dryer uses about 0.3 therms of gas. If gas costs $1.50 per therm, that is about 45 cents per cycle. It doesn't sound like much, but when you run thousands of cycles a month, the bill adds up fast. Electric bills add to this load because the motors spinning those heavy washing machine drums require massive amounts of current. Expect to pay around $800 a month for electricity. Before paying yourself a dime, your monthly baseline for debt service, rent, utilities, and security sits at $16,850. You must bring in nearly $600 every single day just to break even. And this is where the math gets very tight. To understand how you make that $600 a day, you have to look at the machines as individual profit centers. A standard 30-pound washer might charge $4.50 per cycle. It costs you about 80 cents in water and electricity to run that cycle. This leaves a gross profit of $3.70. If that machine runs 4 times a day, it generates $14.80 in gross profit. With 30 washers running at that volume, you make $444 a day in profit from the wash cycle. The remaining revenue must come from the dryers. Dryers are traditionally priced at 25 cents for a block of time. This brings us back to the hidden mechanism that separates the wealthy operators from the bankrupt ones. Most customers believe that the cost of drying clothes is a fixed rate, but the owner has complete control over the software inside the dryer's computer board. They can program the machine to give 5 minutes for a quarter, or 6 minutes, or 7. When natural gas prices spike, an owner cannot easily raise the price of a wash cycle. Customers notice when a wash goes from $4 to $4.50, and they might walk down the street to a competitor. But almost no one notices when the dryer time drops from 6 minutes per quarter to 5 minutes. That single change represents a 20% increase in drying revenue. For a customer with a heavy load, it means they must insert 6 quarters instead of 5 to get their clothes completely dry. That extra quarter from every customer directly offsets the rising utility bill, keeping the business profitable without triggering a customer revolt. This pricing flexibility is one reason why investors are drawn to the model. Another major shift in the industry is the death of the physical coin. Modern card systems have replaced the old routine of hauling buckets of quarters, clearing jammed coin slots, and worrying about physical break-ins. Customers load money onto a proprietary plastic card using a kiosk in the lobby. They tap the card on the washer or dryer to start the cycle. This system eliminates the labor of collecting coins and reduces the incentive for thieves to smash your machines. It also has a massive financial benefit called float. When a customer loads $20 onto a card but only spends $18.50, that remaining $1.50 stays in your bank account. Across thousands of customers, this unused balance can represent thousands of dollars of interest-free capital that you hold indefinitely. Industry studies show that 5% of all money loaded onto loyalty cards is never spent, leaving you with pure profit that drops straight to your bottom line. Card systems eliminate cash handling, but leave the physical maintenance challenges untouched. Commercial washers are complex machines with high-speed bearings, electric water valves, and computer control boards. When a bearing in a 60-pound washer fails, the machine will make a deafening screeching noise during the spin cycle. Replacing those bearings is a labor-intensive job that requires dismantling the entire machine. A professional technician will charge $150 an hour, and the repair can take 6 hours. With parts, a single bearing failure can cost $1,200. If you cannot do these repairs yourself, your profit margins will be wiped out by service calls. Successful operators spend their weekends replacing drain valves, clearing coin drops, and cleaning lint screens. Lint is the constant enemy of the dryer system. Unless you clear the lint screens daily, airflow is restricted, which makes the dryers run longer and burn more gas. Heavy lint buildup in the exhaust ducts is also a major fire hazard. Cleaning the main ductwork requires hiring specialized contractors every year. Then there is the trash. Because the store is unattended for long stretches, some people treat it like a public dump. They will leave empty detergent bottles, plastic bags, and household trash in the bins. You will pay a commercial waste service about $300 a month to empty your dumpster. You also need someone to clean the floors, wipe down the machines, and clean the folding tables every night. If you hire a local cleaning service, that will cost around $1,500 a month. If you clean the store yourself to save money, you have just traded the passive income dream for a part-time job cleaning up spilled bleach and soapy slime. To boost your revenue beyond the basic wash and dry cycles, you must look at ancillary sales. The most common add-on is a soap vending machine. Buying single-use soap boxes in bulk costs about 20 cents each, and you can sell them for $1.25. A high-volume store can sell 400 boxes of soap a month, generating $500 in revenue with very little effort. Snack machines and a corner ATM charging a $3 transaction fee can bring in an extra $500 of passive cash flow each month. But these are small numbers compared to the real growth engine of modern laundry wash and fold services. Self-service laundry is a commodity with thin margins and heavy local competition. But busy professionals, families, and local businesses are willing to pay a premium for convenience. With a wash and fold service, customers drop off their dirty clothes in the morning. Your staff weighs the bags, washes the laundry, folds it neatly, and packages it in plastic wrap. You charge by the pound, typically between $1.50 and $2.50. A 20-pound bag of laundry can generate $40 in revenue. Because your utilities are already covered by your baseline business, the main cost here is labor. You will need to hire employees to wash and fold the clothes, paying them around $15 an hour. This service transforms your business from a passive equipment rental store into an active service company. It requires scheduling, customer service, and payroll management, but it can double your gross revenue, allowing you to capture market share from local dry cleaners. Some operators go a step further by offering commercial laundry services. They secure contracts with local gyms, spas, hotels, and medical clinics that need sheets and towels washed daily. These commercial accounts provide steady, predictable volume during the slow weekdays when retail traffic is dead. Most self-service customers do their laundry on weekends, meaning your expensive machines sit empty during the week. Commercial contracts keep the washers spinning from Monday to Friday, maximizing your return on the equipment investment. Before you purchase any store or sign a lease, you must understand the local demographics. Laundromats thrive in areas with high renter density, low to moderate household incomes, and large family sizes. Apartment complexes with poor or non-existent laundry facilities are your primary source of customers. If you locate your store in a wealthy suburb where every home has a private laundry room, your machines will collect dust. Older apartment buildings with small, outdated laundry rooms are prime targets because their machines are frequently broken. Tenants would rather carry their clothes to a bright, clean commercial store than use a dark, dingy basement room. If developers are building new apartment buildings with in-unit washers and dryers, your target market is shrinking. Because a laundromat is a physically permanent installation, lease security is the most critical factor in your long-term planning. You cannot simply pack up your 1,000-pound washers and move them to a new storefront if the landlord decides to double your rent. The cost of moving the plumbing, electrical infrastructure, and machinery would easily top $150,000. You must secure a long-term lease with multiple renewal options, targeting a minimum of 10 years, and ideally 20 years. If a store only has 3 years left on its lease, the business is virtually worthless because the landlord holds all the power. They can refuse to renew your lease, take over your improvements, and open their own laundry store in your place. This brings us to the choice between buying an existing store and building a new one from scratch. Building a new store allows you to choose the layout, install energy-efficient equipment, and design a premium space. But it also exposes you to construction delays, permit issues, and those unpredictable sewer impact fees. Buying an existing store is often safer because the utility connections are already in place and the customer base is established, but you must perform rigorous due diligence before signing any contract. Sellers will often present tax returns and profit statements that show healthy margin. You must verify these claims by cross-referencing them with utility bills. Water usage does not lie, so if a seller claims their washers are running 5 times a day, the bills must reflect that volume. A simple calculation using their water rates and the average water consumption per cycle will reveal the true number of turns. If the water bills suggest the machines are only turning twice a day, the seller is inflating their revenue figures. You should also spend time sitting in the parking lot, counting the customers who walk in. Watch the traffic on a Tuesday morning and a Saturday afternoon. Note the ratio of washers to dryers being used. If the store is empty during peak weekend hours, walk away. Another critical risk is the threat of new competition. There is nothing stopping another investor from leasing a space 2 blocks away and building a modern, bright facility. If they install newer, faster washers with credit card readers and a play area for children, your customers will abandon you. To compete, you will be forced to upgrade your own machines, a process called retooling. Replacing 30 older machines with modern equipment will cost upwards of $250,000. If you do not have a capital reserve fund, this requirement will push you into bankruptcy. The final valuation of a laundromat is typically based on a multiple of its net earnings, often called seller discretionary earnings. Healthy stores sell for between 3 and 5 times their annual net profit. If a store makes $50,000 a year in net profit, it is worth between $150,000 and $250,000. Be skeptical of listings asking for 6 or 7 times earnings. Those multiples are usually driven by the passive income hype rather than financial reality. The survival rate for laundromats is relatively high, with many stores operating in the same location for decades. Long-term survival requires a hands-on operator who understands plumbing, negotiates tight leases, and watches utility rates like a hawk. Treating a laundromat as a purely passive investment is a recipe for failure. 4 decades later, that retail space in Oregon is a convenience store, and the plumbing pipes behind the drywall are sealed with concrete. The sewer line was never opened, and the 30 commercial washers were sold for scrap metal.